What was your favorite deal that you've done to this point now? It sounds like it's been, I mean, you have a $1 billion worth of deals that you've ran through now. What was your favorite project and why?
Snowmass Club. We bought this. I went to Aspen on a trip, a weekend trip with my wife. We actually went to Vail, and we were driving back to Denver, and I just was like, we were so close to Aspen, and I was when I was little, I lived in Aspen. So I spent my early years there, and I took my wife. I said, I really think while we're here, we should just spend a couple days in Aspen. And she was like, okay, let's do it. So we had our 3-year old and our 1-year old, and we turned around and we went to Aspen. It was September, and we were in the park, and she was like, wow, could we live here like for a year? It's truly. And I was like, of course, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's music to my ears. And
Sweet.
so
Was that your plan all along, Scott? I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna show her Aspen. Get her
Gotcha.
excited.
well, she was talking about a year overseas, and I was just thinking about the commute. And so I was like, if I can get her somewhere where I don't have to jump on a plane for 12 hours to do my job. And so I
Smart.
don't know I think it was subconscious. And so we went to Aspen. She fell in love with it, and we literally, I found a place. We found a place. She went home, and that place didn't work out. I found another house, and literally like 2 or 3 weeks later, we moved into a beautiful home in Snowmass, and it was purely family time. For a year, that was our intention. And a few months into it, I was getting bored, obviously, and
got the itch.
totally got the itch. And my wife, my son came home with like a little fake gold medal from a little ski thing, and he was 3.5. And so my wife started crying, and she's like, "Oh my God, we're never going to get this anywhere. We have to stay in Aspen." And like the next day, I was in town, like prospecting. Like, where can I get a deal? Where can I find a deal? I met a guy who was a broker who said he had these 4 off-market deals, and come into his office the next day. I went into his office the next day, pitched all 4 of these deals. One of them was the Snowmass Club, which was not on the market, but it was for sale. Toll Brothers owned it. And I started doing due diligence, and I made an offer to Toll Brothers like a month or two later. And that's when I was like, okay, it's game on. So
So what's the scale? What's the scale on this deal?
What was the size?
Yeah.
Well, the acquisition, I think we closed at 18.5 million for the purchase, but then we had another 80 million of potential real estate development. We were going to build a lot more condos. And that was really the big play there. It wasn't the golf or the resort. It was the development of new condos. And so that was probably the most fun, working and living in a resort town. And it was 200 acres. You looked up the valleys, the mountain. I mean, it was just spectacular. And the kids came every day. And so, that was a really fun experience.
That's beautiful. And I think it's valuable. It's valuable the way you talked about the way you went to go get this deal. You're like, I get the itch. A lot of people are like, I don't know where to start. And you're like, I'm going to go start talking to brokers, real estate agent. Let's go see what these people have. Like, people who live there and have been there a while, they know what deals are off market. They know what people have been talking about. This person said he was thinking about selling. This person, has this property. And a lot of people don't realize they can just go start talking to people and building relationships, and the opportunities arise just from putting yourself out there on those things. So I think that was really important that you point those things out. It's like, look, I want to get working here. I'm going to go meet some people and see what opportunities are there, and look at this beautiful project. Of all the projects you've done, that ended up being, the most enjoyable one for you. And good on you for having such awesome quality family time. I think that's so valuable also.